Midnight, June 1942. Above the German lines near the Don Bend. The moon is a thin silver blade. You hear it before you see it, a soft, eerie whoosh like wind through bare branches. No engine roar, no warning lights, just the slow creak of wood and fabric as a Polikarpov Po-2 glides down from the black sky. Inside the open cockpit, Senior Lieutenant Nadezhda Popova grips the stick with frostbitten fingers. Her navigator, Sergeant Yevgenia Rudneva, leans forward, eyes scanning the ground through the faint glow of a shielded flashlight. Two 50-kilogram bombs hang beneath the wings, fragile wings, patched with linen and hope. The engine is dead. They cut it a kilometer back, letting gravity and the night wind carry them. The Po-2 slips lower, lower, until the smell of wood smoke and diesel from the German camp rises to meet them. Searchlights sweep lazily, too high, too slow. Machine guns chatter at phantoms. Popova releases. The bombs tumble free, silent at first, then blooming into orange fire among the fuel trucks and tents. Shouts erupt below, panic, confusion. The women restart the engine with a cough, bank hard, and vanish into the clouds before any Messerschmitt can scramble. Back at base, Major Yevdokiya Bershanskaya waits in the freezing dugout. She counts the returning planes by sound alone. One more night, one more raid. The Germans still call them sewing machines, harmless, laughable. But the laughter is already thinning. The first whispers of fear begin to spread through the trenches. Summer 1942. A forward German airfield near Voronezh. Dawn light bleeds across the runway. Hauptmann Erich Hartmann, already a rising ace, leans against the wing of his Bf 109, cigarette smoke curling in the cool air. His ground crew laughs as they scrub oil from the cowling. Another night passed without incident, another sewing machine raid that did little more than scatter a few supply crates and bruise egos. "They come when the men are asleep," one mechanic says, wiping grease from his hands. "Old women in biplanes. What next? Children with slingshots?" The pilots chuckle. The Po-2 is wood and canvas, slower than a training glider, barely armed, no armor worth mentioning. Easy prey if you can catch it. But catching it? That's the joke. The women kill their engines, glide in like ghosts, drop and flee before any alarm sounds properly. By the time a night fighter scrambles, the sky is empty again. Hartmann flicks his cigarette away. "Harmless pests," he mutters. "Mosquitoes. Annoying, but nothing a good SWAT won't fix." Word spreads through the divisions. The 588th Night Bomber Regiment earns its first mocking nickname, Nachthexen, night witches. The men draw cartoons on mess hall walls, broomstick-riding crones in flight helmets, cackling over burning tents. It becomes barracks humor, something to laugh about while the real war grinds on. But the raids never stop. Every clear night, the whoosh returns. Fuel dumps erupt. Ammunition wagons vanish in flame. Sleep becomes a luxury no one can afford. Sentries stare upward until their necks ache. Officers snap at exhausted troops. The laughter starts to sound forced. Major Bershanskaya gathers her pilots in the candlelit barn that serves as their briefing room. Faces glow orange in the dim light. Some are barely 20, all exhausted, all unbowed. "Tonight, we hit the railhead at Milorovo," she says quietly. "They think we're jokes. Let them keep thinking that, until they can't sleep at all." The women nod. No bravado, just quiet resolve. Engines cough to life in the dark. The night waits. Autumn 1942. The steppe north of Stalingrad. Snow dusts the wings like ash. The Luftwaffe night fighter pilots no longer laugh in the ready rooms. The cartoons on the walls have been torn down. In their place, hurried sketches of searchlight patterns, engine start times, and frantic radio codes. Oberlieutenant Rudolf Müller, holder of the Knight's Cross, sits in the dim glow of a lamp inside a HE-111 night fighter. His hands are steady, but his eyes are red-rimmed. He has flown 6 fruitless patrols this week, each time the same story: engines roaring, radar sweeping, then nothing, only the mocking whoosh fading into the distance as another ammunition train burns behind German lines. "They don't fight fair," he tells his gunner, voice low. "They don't even try to dogfight. They just appear, kill, disappear." The nickname Nachthexen has stopped being funny. It is now spoken in whispers, half superstition. Soldiers claim the witches curse the unlucky, engines that fail to start, guns that jam at the worst moment, sentries who fall asleep only to wake screaming as bombs detonate nearby. Some swear they have seen pale faces in the moonlight, grinning like demons before the fire blooms. Major Bershanskaya knows none of this. She doesn't need to. She sees the results. Her regiment flies 2, sometimes 3 sorties per night. The Po-2s are patched with whatever canvas and glue the mechanics can scrounge. Engines overheat, fabric tears in the slipstream, yet the women keep going. Popoha has already completed 250 missions. Others are close behind. They fly in pairs, pilot and navigator, trusting each other more than oxygen. Tonight's target, a German artillery battery shelling Soviet positions across the Volga. The approach is low, hugging the frozen river. Searchlights stab upward like white spears. Flak bursts in dirty flowers of black smoke. They cut engines at 800 meters. The silence is absolute, except for the wind in the wires. Rudneva counts down in a whisper. 3, 2, 1. Release. The bombs fall straight. Orange blossoms erupt among the gun pits. Crews scatter. A howitzer's barrel glows red as ammunition cooks off. The Po-2 banks away, engines sputtering back to life, just as a night fighter's tracer rounds stitch the sky behind them. Too late. They vanish eastward. On the ground, a young German infantryman stares at the burning battery, hands trembling. He mutters the word that now carries real dread: Nachthexen. The fear is spreading faster than the flames. Winter, 1942-1943. The Kuban bridgehead, where the Taman Peninsula meets the frozen Sea of Azov. Winds howl like wolves across the airstrips. The Luftwaffe's elite Geschwader no longer dismiss the threats in their briefings. Generaloberst Wolfram von Richthofen, commander of Luftflotte 4, paces his headquarters, maps littered with red pins marking disrupted rail lines, shattered convoys, and bombed-out depots. The Night Witches have flown over 5,000 sorties now, each one a needle in the flesh of the Wehrmacht. "They mock us from the shadows," von Richthofen growls to his staff. "Assign more night fighters, flood the skies with searchlights, offer bounties, iron crosses for every Po-2 downed." Pilots like Hartmann take the bait. They patrol in pairs, engines throttled low, listening for that telltale whoosh. But the women adapt. They fly lower, skimming treetops at 30 meters, where radar blinds and flak risks shredding their own planes. Bershanskaya's orders are clear: vary altitudes, stagger approaches, use the moon's phases like a calendar of death. One stormy night, Lieutenant Larisa Rozanova leads a formation toward a German airfield packed with U-88 bombers. Engines cut at the perimeter. The Po-2s ghost in. bombs raining on fuel bowsers and parked aircraft. Explosions ripple like thunderclaps. A Focke-Wulf 190 scrambles too late, its guns blazing blindly into the sleet. Rozanova's plane takes a hit, fabric rips, controls shudder. She nurses it eastward, blood freezing on her cheek from a splinter wound. Behind her, the airfield burns, silhouettes of frantic crews dancing in the firelight. The Mockery has turned. What was laughter now fuels nightmares. German morale cracks under the relentless rhythm, nights without rest, days without resupply. The witches press on, their fury silent but unyielding. But the cost is mounting, and the greatest test looms. Spring 1945. Berlin's outskirts, where the Red Army's thunder rolls closer. The skies over the Reich are alive with Allied bombers by day, but the nights still belong to echoes of the past. The 558th, now redesignated the 46th Guards Night Bomber Aviation Regiment, flies its final sorties. Major Bershanskaya, her face lined with 3 years of unyielding command, briefs the last pilots in a makeshift hangar amid blooming cherry trees. The Po-2s, battered veterans of 23,000 missions, lift off one more time. Engines cut over German strongpoints. Bombs fall on retreating panzer columns, supply trains grinding to halts in fiery chaos. You can almost feel the shift in the air, the once mocking Luftwaffe reduced to ragged patrols, their aces like Hartmann diverted to desperate daylight fights. The witches have outlasted them all. No parachutes ever issued. 30 women lost to flak, crashes, the merciless cold. Yet the survivors return, engines sputtering, faces smeared with oil and triumph. As victory dawns, the awards come, 23 Hero of the Soviet Union medals pinned on young chests. Popova with 852 missions, Rozanova with her scars, Rudneva posthumously honored. Bershanskaya stands tall, her regiment's silent fury, a key to cracking the Eastern Front. The Germans surrender. The nickname Nachthexen fades into myth, but the women know. They turned mockery into dread, proving the impossible in a man's war. Their legend whispers on, eternal in the night sky.